All right, so we are back, and I know we are all super excited because we've got our power team, we've researched our area, we know what's happening. Come on, find me a property, let's buy it. It is time to identify and find a property that is of value that we can purchase. This is where having a super experienced, strong real estate professional is going to come into play. All right, you've identified the town you want to invest in. You ran all your numbers. Everything works. Now it's time to find a property, and that is your real estate agent's job, is to find you a property that the numbers work, there's value, and it's attainable. But here's the thing with this. This is important. This step is frustrating because this step takes time, okay? These properties, these value properties, they don't just pop up every day. It takes time to find them, and it takes a lot of research to find them. So when you're ready, I know how I was when I was ready. I was like, where are these things at, man? Like, let's just get them. And it doesn't work that way. I had to wait a long time. I sold my last property in 2022, so last year early. And then I had to wait all the way until now, almost 2 years later, to be able to buy one that I'm under contract with and another that I have an offer out on. So it took almost 2 years. So you have to be patient. Remember, you're buying these on numbers. We are not buying these properties on emotion. So just be patient. It will pay off. Trust me, it will pay off. Your patience will pay off. But once that property hits and you see it, your agent either sends it to you. Look, I always used to say this to buyers. You're going to find a property before I am because you're probably on Realtor.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm not. If you find it first, just let me know. I'll do the research on it, and we'll see. We'll see what's going on. This is going to be the same thing with your real estate agent. You're probably going to link into that area and just start hammering that area daily. Every hour on the hour, looking for, if any new properties hit the market. Like, that's what you're going to be doing. So your agent isn't going to be doing that all day long. Obviously, they're going to look for you, but you may find it first. So if that's the case, no problem. Just send it to him or her, and they'll do the research for you and let you know what's going on with it. So when they find one for you, or if you find one, and it's available, it's able to be seen and offers accepted because it's not under contract yet. Those are the ones you have to have your mortgage pre-qualification or pre-approval letter ready so you can pounce. They're like a tiger on like a gazelle. Like, you have to pounce on these things. The minute you see them, it's like, all right, let's go. I got to go see it. And your agent will get you in. And then it's like, all right, let's find out the time frames as far as if they're going to be taken highest and best, if there's any offers, things of that nature. So you have to be ready to pounce. So having your pre-approval or pre-qualification letter handy, you've already done that work with your lender, is paramount to getting property like this. Because, again, you're not the only person that's looking for value properties. There's going to be a lot of other people doing that too. That pre-qualification, that pre-approval, what you don't ever want to do is find a property, see it, but you've not talked to your lender yet. So you're not even able to make an offer because you have to send your pre-approval letter in with that offer. So if you don't have that, your timing is completely off. You could lose the deal. Let's take a sidebar here and talk about mortgage pre-approvals, because if you're not paying cash for this property, and I'm going to imagine you're not, because 96 or 97% of deals are, or I think it's 96 or 95, one of those two, percent of deals are financed. They're not cash. So how do you find a lender? You can go with your traditional big lenders, the big banks that are out there, and you can go with them. They'll probably give you rates that are eighth of a point, half of a point lower than your mortgage companies or your smaller local lenders. But I will tell you that I've had rough experiences with big lenders and better experiences with the local smaller lenders. Me personally, that's what I'm doing now. I'll pay the extra half a point or eighth of a point. I'll pay that in order to know that I'm not going to get bombarded with 1,000 things that these lenders want. And then if the slightest thing comes up that's a hurdle, they'll just bag it and say, we ain't gonna we don't want it. And the issue with them is they're so big they don't need to. So they're like, fine, we'll just, we're not gonna, we're not doing the deal. So it's not a big deal to them. And that's a problem for me. I don't like working with lenders like that. So I don't use them. And by them, I mean the big companies. These big lenders that are out there. I don't want to name them, but the big companies that are out there. I don't want to use them, and I don't use them. I'll never use them. There's plenty of smaller local lenders or even mid-sized mortgage companies and banks that I'd rather use than these big, credit card companies and that are now banks and stuff. It's nuts. So I won't use them. So the smaller lenders too, and you can get a local lender, like a local bank that's in the area that you want to invest in. They know the local market. So if something pops up, like hey man, no big deal. This is how we can work around it. That's the benefit of working with a local lender. So shop around. That's the next thing that I'd say. Shop around, interview, just like you're trying to find a contractor or, inspector or someone like that. Do the same. Do that with your lender. Try and find a good lender that way. So it's the same. You're interviewing them. Maybe you can here's what I do. So what's true for me is I try to get referrals as much as I can. So I want somebody in the area, let's say, so your contractor, if they've done deals in the past in this area, hey, do you know any good lenders that your other clients are using that actually close deals in this area? Maybe you can get it from your contractor. Maybe you can get it from the inspector. It's another great source for a referral. Now, here's something that's really, really important with regards to lenders is if you're using one that's a little bit on the larger side, are you just like interview them? And when I interview them, I mean like figure out, hey, am I going to be just a number to this person, or am I going to be an actual, human being and building a relationship with this lender? What am I to them? It's important because, again, what you don't want to do is have somebody they're huge and you're never talking to the lender. You're talking to their assistant. You're talking to their the closer. You're not talking to them. I don't want to deal with people like that. If I'm giving you my business, I'm basically handing you thousands of dollars because you're going to close and make that, the money on the closing. I'm handing you money. Yeah, you damn well better take my call when I give you a call. I don't want to talk to your assistant. I don't want to talk to anybody else. I want to talk to you. So that's how I operate when I do these. So you may be different and it may not matter to you. It matters to me. I don't want to talk to anybody else but them. If I'm giving you, I'm silver plattering you. You're not even doing any work. All you did was talk to me, and I'm going to now hand you business. So if that's the case, yeah, you better take my call. And for the most part, they do. Most lenders, all the lenders that I work with, they do. They'll answer the phone for me. If you can get a portfolio lender, I would highly suggest doing it. Now, because they're more versatile, okay? So then the next question is, well, Dan, what's a portfolio lender? Well, I'm going to tell you. All righty. Portfolio lender. What that means is a portfolio lender originates loans, and what they can do is keep that loan on their portfolio, on their books, and they service the loan, what we call in-house. So they don't sell it out on the secondary market. They originate it, they underwrite it, and then they keep it, and you make your payments to that person, that lender. Okay? But they can also underwrite it and sell it, close it, and sell it on the secondary market, and they'll underwrite it to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines. And that is your traditional, regular, like mortgage, conventional mortgage. It's underwritten to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines, which I know them, and then it gets sold, and you know that you're going to make your payments not to the person that, or the lender that originated it. They'll let you know later on who who you're going to make payments to. I'm sure any of you that are out there that have mortgages, you get notices in the mail. Hi, now this is your servicer. You're going to be making payments to us. All that happened is your loan got pooled into a large portfolio of other loans, sold on Wall Street on the secondary market, and then whoever bought it, they have a servicing company. The servicing company is now who you're going to be making payments to. A portfolio lender has the ability to do that, or if your loan, your situation, whatever you're looking to buy, doesn't conform to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines, and they have, guidelines that you can probably either look up, or if you can't, talk to your mortgage professional and they'll let you know them. I happen to have a mortgage background for 12 years, so I know them. If your loan, your situation and your scenario doesn't conform to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, if you're not with a portfolio lender, they're just going to deny you and say, hey, we can't do the loan. You got to find somebody else. If you have a portfolio lender, what they'll then do is say, okay, we tried the regular traditional route. It didn't work. Let's see if we can do it our way and hold it in-house and do it portfolio. Now, the underwriting is a little bit different. It's a little more lax. It's less, quote unquote, tight and strict because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have those strict guidelines. It's less strict. Now, the flip side of this is you will pay eighth of a point, maybe half of a point more on your rate, but you're getting the loan. That's the key factor. I'm getting the loan, so I don't care if I have to pay an eighth of a point higher or a half of a point higher. If the numbers work and it's not going to make that much of a difference in your mortgage loan anyway with your monthly payment, then just go portfolio. So this is the benefit of having a portfolio lender. My primary lender that I use, I've known my lender, Dave, for 30 years. So I trust him with, if I had $1 million, I would trust it with him. I'd give it to him and be like, I'm going away for a couple of years. I trust you with it. He's that reliable to me. So when you build that kind of a relationship with somebody, they're worth their weight in gold because you don't have to worry. There's a trust factor. So, and that's in any kind of sales capacity, that's what you want. That's what I want first. I shouldn't say you. That's what I look for first. I want to build that relationship of trust with my clients so that they're not thinking of anybody else, number one, when they are referring their friends, family, colleagues need real estate needs. They're thinking of me. Why? Because the first thing they're going to say out of their mouth is, you can trust him. He's going to give you it. He's going to shoot you straight. If he can do it, he'll do it. If he can't, he can't. If there's an issue with this, that, and the other, he addresses it right out of the gate, or he's very direct. He's very firm, but he's very fair. And that is all I ask for. You always know where you are with me. There's usually not any gray areas. So I think that's a really strong place to be in life. It's kind of like the, what was that movie, man? Remember in the original Karate Kid, the one from '84 with Ralph Macchio, Mr. Miyagi is saying to him, like, you choose this way or you choose this way. You say in the middle, like maybe, you get squashed like a grape. So it's like, make a decision here or make a decision here. Don't waffle in the middle. And that's how I like to be. I don't like, it's either here or it's here. There's no like gray area in the middle. That's the area where you get yourself into trouble. So, off that tangent. All right. So that's the deal with portfolio lending. If you can find one, I would highly suggest going with one if you can build a good relationship with them. And that'll obviously take time. I think that's really important for you guys all as a whole to understand and know when you apply for a mortgage and then your lender starts to, you get accepted, your offer gets accepted, and now your lender's asking you for 1,000 things. Why they're asking you for 1,000 things. And I'm going to explain that to you in future episodes because I'm going through that process right now. So right now, the loan that I'm getting is a traditional, conventional loan. It's not portfolio. My scenario, Fannie Mae, Freddie, it fit their guidelines. So my loan's being underwritten that way. So I'll go over with you like the litany of things that they're asking me for because it's a full doc loan. Okay. So we'll go over that again. All right. So now you've interviewed your lenders. You have your lender. They give you your pre-qual letter. You're good to go. They ran your credit, or a pre-approval letter, I should say. Pre-approval. They actually take your income. They take your credit and your assets, and then they formulate that. Say, all right, we're going to lend you this. Here's your pre-approval letter. Now you go out and you make some off. You're ready to go and make offers. Okay, so this is important for me. What properties am I looking for? What do I want? I look for properties that need work. Now, when I say need work, obviously we're looking to rehab here. So I look for properties that need work. They provide a good ARV. ARV, you'll start to hear that term as you get more and more seasoned as a real estate investor. It is after repair value. So I look for properties that need work but have a really strong after repair value. And what that means is the value that they are once they're rehabbed and they get it reappraised. And what I do then is once the rehab's done and I get the appraisal, we're going to do a cash out refi. You recover the money that you put into the rehab, your closing costs, if it's possible, usually it is. And then maybe you can even get some cash out to purchase another property. But you already have the money back from the rehab, closing costs to purchase. Now you have it back. You can purchase another property, but you have this one already that's now going to be rented, giving you cash flow. So that's a property I look for. Another property I look for are rehab properties. They're already done, but at its present value right now, that's going to provide you strong cash flow based on what you can rent it for. There are properties out there like that, and I found one in 2019. So they're out there. So you can find properties that are already rehabbed. The work has been done. The renovation is complete. And now they're just listed for sale. The owner is ready to sell them. So if you run numbers and see, this property is at this value, but I know I can rent it here, and the spread is within your guideline. Say you want to clear $600 a month in cash flow, then that conforms. That's a property. So you can get that one. All right. What else do I look for? I look for homes that are similar to an area's prevailing style, let's say. What do I mean by that? Similar to what's prevailing in the area. So if the area that you're looking to invest in, let's say it's a community, and most of the homes in that community are, say, split levels, I really want to stick to buying a split level. If there's only maybe a Cape Cod or two in this whole development, I tend to try to shy away from that because it's not prevailing. So it could be harder for resale if you go look to sell it later. So I look for that too. Now, I'm not saying I eliminate them, but because if it's a really good deal, I'll probably take it. But I tend to shy away from that if as an overall guideline for myself. All right. This is, and I don't deviate from this one at all. Homes that are on busy streets. Okay, so double yellow lines are a no-no for me. I do not buy properties that are on double yellow lines. Okay, so you know what double yellow lines are: main roads that have two lines going down the middle. You have traffic coming one way and traffic going the other way. Those are heavily trafficked roads. That's why there's a double yellow line on them. I don't want to buy properties like that. Okay, now why? Number one, they are harder for resale. Statistically, homes that are on busy streets sell for less than homes that are not. That's just statistics. And here's probably a reason why. And this is my second reason. There are some buyers out there that have families, kids, and they don't want their kids to be playing in the yard, in the front yard or a backyard that is backing up or fronting to a busy road. Ball goes in the street, kid runs out and gets it and gets hit by a car. There's a chance of that, and that happens. So buyers that are out there that don't want that, your home is now off their list. So what you've done now is eliminated part of the buying public or the renting public. So that's why I don't do busy streets. Okay. So next, and these two are important. These are just as important. These are really important stuff. I don't buy homes 100% that have external obsolescences. Now, you're going to be like, dude, what the hell is an external obsolescence? All right. This is where appraisals come in, and I'm going to be doing an event on appraisals, how to read appraisals and what to understand about appraisals. So an external obsolescence, what we can say to that is it's a loss of value. Visualize this. It's a loss of value to property. So the value is property. So loss of value of property due to external factors. Okay. What are those external factors? You can line them up. They are firehouses, hospitals, busy streets for traffic. A big one that I never will buy a property near is power lines. Those huge, tower power lines. No, I don't do that. And then also railroad tracks. If my house backs to railroad tracks or fronts to it, I am not buying it. There is no way. So those are external obsolescences, and they detract, they pull away, they have a negative effect on the value of that property. Now, the second part of this is I don't buy homes that have a functional obsolescence. You're going to say, Dan, what is a functional obsolescence? All right, man, come on, bro. I'm going to tell you. Relax. Functional obsolescence. All right. It's a loss of value due to now this is on the inside. This is on the home itself. So it could be an outdated layout. It could be the technology of the property is inefficient. It could be that the property is in poor condition compared to the other ones in the area. So, like, for example, a functional obsolescence would be like if the home was built in 1930 and it's a 2-level and there's only 1 bathroom and there's 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms. You have to, and there's only 1 bathroom. That means if you're upstairs, you got to go downstairs to go to the bathroom. And if you're downstairs, you got to go upstairs to go to the bathroom. That's a functional obsolescence because it's outdated. Homes that are now built now in the 90s and 2000s and 2010, present, they have at least 2 bathrooms or a powder room on one level and a full bathroom on the next. So there's no obsolescence of layout, of poor layout, okay? Another one could be that there's 4 bedrooms, but they're all really cramped in one area, and they're tight. That's a functional obsolescence. So it detracts. It has a negative effect on the value of the property. And an appraiser will note that when you are getting the property appraised, okay? So those are some of the things that I look for in properties and things that I don't look for. Okay. So here's some of my my not rules, but these are things that I look for. External obsolescences, they're out of my control. Okay. I can't control them. I can't do anything about huge power lines across the street. I can't do anything about a firehouse or railroad tracks. They're there no matter what I do. So I can't change it. So external obsolescences are a 100% no-go. 100%. Just, I don't even look at them. Functional obsolescences, again, due to like a poor layout, maybe bathrooms are only on 1 floor. If I can cure it with the rehab, my contractor says, you know what, we could throw a powder room in here and it's only going to cost you this. And because the piping, you're in line with piping and it's not going to cost that much to do because everything is already there internally. There's no bathroom. I'll run the numbers and see, does this work? And if the numbers do work, then you better believe that I'm going to put an offer in on that. Absolutely. Because I can cure it. Functional obsolescences can be cured. External obsolescences, for the most part, cannot. So externals, I don't mess with. Internals, functionals, I'll look at the numbers and see if they work. And if they do, then I'll write that into my offer and figure out how I'm going to make that work with the offer, how I structure the offer. Okay? So those are a couple of things. Here's something I also don't buy. I will rarely, if ever, buy the white elephant on the block. Now, what does that mean? That I don't want to be the nicest house in the neighborhood. I don't want to be the biggest house in the neighborhood, because you're setting the bar. Somebody else can't purchase a property, and there's the likelihood that they're purchasing it more than yours is very low because you're the nicest in the area. So I don't ever want to be that. For me, I found the property that I'm under contract on. I found it in my area in Pennsylvania, did all my research, got my power team. We looked at property, and I saw this one, went to my agent, had him submit the offer, and it was submitted with all the other offers, and boom, calls me up and says, hey, bruh, congrats. You are the future proud owner of this property. And I was like, what? Come on, man. You got to be kidding me, brother. But it's true. So I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, my God, this is awesome. I usually, not going to say I usually don't win them, but it's tough. You have to make a lot of concessions to win a highest and best situation. But we did, man. And I got to tell you, it felt pretty damn good. Because I know these numbers are going to work. Like, this property is going to do really well. And it's a really cool townhouse. Like, I'm really looking forward to rehabbing it. And that's funny. I was just texting my contractor right before I got here to shoot. And we were talking about, like, ideas and what we're going to do with, like, kitchens and flooring. We're tearing out carpet. We're going to put down vinyl plank floor. It's going to look really cool. And somebody's going to really enjoy renting this property for them because they're getting their kids into a really good school district. So, like, I'm freaking juiced about this shit, man. Come on. Like, I'm excited, man. Hell yeah. This is good stuff. So, all right. I'm going to go real quick into the offer. So you're probably wondering, hey, Dan, like, how the hell did you get that offer to get accepted? I've made offers on 7 properties, and I've lost all of them, and I got outbid by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Listen, here's what I did. Again, first thing, you're putting offers in on numbers, not emotion. I will say that again. You are buying investment properties on numbers. You're not buying on emotion. When you walk in, don't get discouraged if this place is a complete shit show. That's what you want. You want that. You don't want this place to look really great because the seller's going to expect offers that are like that. You want these properties to be rough around the edges. So the first thing I did, I'll go into this real quick. My offer, all right? So I saw the property. I saw it came on the market. My process was I saw it came on the market. I found it first. My agent, I went to the seller agent because I'm not licensed in Pennsylvania, so I can't do anything. And I just had my agent structure it, the offer, find out from the seller's agent, all right, here's what the buyers or the sellers are looking for. This is what's most important to them, blah, 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 blah. So I went in hard and aggressive with the number. I had the number that I needed in mind. I structured it. Now, here's something that other agents are probably going to use, and maybe they may even use it against me if I have buyers and I'm representing them, but I don't care. Here, guys, if you're doing a 20% down scenario and you know that usually the standard is 20% up front, 80% at the closing out of that 20% down payment. So, for example, if your down payment's $100,000, then you would do $20,000 as your initial deposit, and then $80,000 at closing. That's your $100,000 deposit. Screw that. I'll do the majority of it up front, and then the smaller part at closing. Well, why would I do that if you don't have the property yet? Because what it does is it gives the seller this nice, warm, cozy feeling in their stomach that, this person's really serious about buying my property. So it gives them good faith. It's your good faith to them that you're freaking serious and you want this property. Okay, and you want to outbid everybody else for it, and this is what you're willing to do. So do that. If you're an agent out there, do that. Put most of the down payment up front. Do the least amount at your buyer's comfortable with at closing. It's a good strategy, and it worked for me because I won it. So, and again, think about it this way, guys. Like, you're going to pay the money anyway. What's the difference if you're going to pay it, right up front or a month and a half down the road? Who cares? You still have to pay the down payment. So why not use it to your advantage and get it up front so it gives you a better shot to win the deal? Come on, man. All right. That's one thing. Now, the second thing that I did is it was made known to me that the seller prefers that there is you waive all inspections. And by all inspections, I mean you're not going to do an inspection for anything. Like the property's as is. And I was like, there's no way I'm doing that. So what can you do? Now, there are certain sellers that'll say, then forget it. We're not even going to take the offer. I limited my inspection to major mechanical, environmental, and structural issues. Anything cosmetic, I didn't care. And you're going to do a regular inspection anyway. When if you win it, regardless of whether it's an as is, you're going to have an inspector go in there and just tear it up and tell you what's an issue, tell you what's wrong with it. And I did. Now, I told him, look, I'm not going after anything cosmetic here, but I need to know structurally, environmentally, as far as like oil tank, and there is one here. It's in use. It's the heating source. It's inside. So structural, environmental, and mechanical. Furnace, central heat, that kind of stuff, central air. I'm not willing to waive that. I wasn't willing to waive that. So I limited it to that and told my agent, like, that's what I'm limiting this to. I'm not waiving it. And look, as per his job, and I'm not going to, good for him for saying it to me. He said, look, man, there's a possibility you ain't going to win it if you don't waive it, because there's probably offers out there that are going to waive it. And I said, well, that's fine. But if they waive it, maybe what I can do is structure it where I'm putting most of the down payment up front, and I'll push my number up a little bit, just a tad, just a little bit, just a little bit to make up for the fact that I'm going to do that inspection. And if something comes up in that inspection from an environmental, a structural, a mechanical issue, then I can ask the seller for some concessions or for them to fix it. So that's what I did. I wrote that in there. No cosmetic. I am limiting this inspection to major mechanical, structural, environmental. Okay. Third thing I did is I was flexible on closing. All right. So what does that mean? Yes, I would love to get the property as soon as possible so I can get my contractor in there as soon as possible and get started. And the other thing is we're at the end of the year, guys. This is December. For those of you that are either purchasing property, you're doing a rehab now, my contractor made it known to me that if you purchase materials, as in appliances and, hardwood flooring, doors, tubs, sinks, things of that nature, before the end of the year, all of these manufacturers and warehouses want to clear all this crap out for the new stuff coming in for the new year. And you can get these materials and stuff at like a 30-40% discount. So you're just buying it up front. And I'm definitely closing on this. So I was like, look, I'm closing on this in like a week, which leaves me a good bit of time in December. I'm going to be working on this through the holidays, but I don't care. If you're going to tell me I can save thousands of dollars on material, hell yeah, let's freaking do it, man. You kidding me? Let's do it. Do it. So we're going to do that. So he let me know that. So for any of you that are doing it, go to your contractors, or if you are a contractor, I'm sure you probably know, just go to your warehouse and get the material you can, all of it that you can, before January 1st. That's the key. All right. So then again, going back to that, I was flexible with the seller on closing. So I wrote into the contract, I'm fine with whatever the seller wants to do as far as closing, as long as it's not a shortened amount of time to where my lender can't, they're not able to conform to your date. They're not going to be able to give me an approval and the money in time. So I said, as long as that's not the case, I said, I can go out as long as you guys want. I'm fine. Because a lot of that, listen, I could close tomorrow if I didn't have to have a lender and a mortgage. The mortgage is what takes the most time because you're getting documents. They got to run it to underwriting. You're giving it to your mortgage rep. Your mortgage rep gives it to underwriting. Underwriting kicks it back and says, all right, I don't like this. I want this. You get that to them. You give it to him, give it to them. They kick back. Okay, we're good. Like this. There's always 5 layers to mortgages. That's why they take 45 to 60 days to close. So I put that in the contract that I'm flexible with however the seller wants to close. I told my agent, send that shit out. Say a prayer. God, this is meant to be, man. Open this door. That's always what I'll do. I don't know how, what you guys believe your creator is. I have my belief, and I just said, hey, man, I'm putting this out there. If this is meant to happen and this is meant for me to have, I put my best foot forward. I did everything that I could to make this thing happen. Let's see what goes. And I got the call. My boy gave me a call and was like, yo, Dan, man, listen, get ready because you are going to be the future proud owner of this property. And I said, man, we're going out to celebrate. We're going to hit some single malt scotches when this is all done. And he was like, hell yeah. So the offer was accepted. So boom. So that's where we're at right now as we speak. Okay. So next episode, I'm going to start to get into all the stuff that goes on with lending and coordinating with your contractor, dates, the inspections that I had to have done because with this deal. So here's something that happened with this deal that's not common. Because the sellers knew there was going to be multiple offers, they said, all right, you as the buyer, you have to get any city inspections done. And usually, always that's the seller job because I don't own the property. The seller does. But I can pay for the inspections. Now, I did an like a I don't know, some kind of sewer inspection or I forgot what it was. I don't even know what it was. Some kind of inspection the city has to do. Where they go into the property. If it comes back that the city didn't like something that they saw, listen, you're paying for that. I'm not paying for that. So that's where I'm drawing the line. So there is a possibility that we could have, a hurdle here with who's paying for what if the city comes back and sees something they don't like. I don't know. They did the inspection already, and I'm waiting to hear back on where we're at with that. So, but we are almost, I'm supposed to close this week and a half. So remember, today is, I'm shooting this is December 7th. Pearl Harbor Day. Oh my God. I'm supposed to close this next week, tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be possible only because I know that the appraisal got delayed from the appraiser. So, but other than that, I think we're pretty much good to go. I've gotten the lender almost everything they need. They're asking for some things from my accountant and stuff, but we'll get into all of that in another episode. But we are so far on schedule, and my contractor and I are totally on the same page. Like we're both really excited to what this property could be once we get a hold of it. Because again, the people that own it now, they're moving to somewhere else where they're getting a bigger house. They didn't want to do a rehab on this. And that's not that they can't do it. I just don't think they wanted to. It didn't make sense because what if they rehab this and what they did is what a buyer didn't want? I would have done something different. Now they spent all this money on a rehab that maybe they're not going to get the offers that they wanted. Let somebody else do the rehab. That's somebody else being yours frickin' truly. I'll do the rehab and pay accordingly to what I think the property is worth. And again, they agreed on it because we're now under contract. So that's how this happened. That's how this whole process happened. Next episode, we're going to talk about all this lending and what they're asking for from me. The process of once I got approved, how does it go? You get approved, or you get approved. Your offer's accepted. So in New Jersey, there's attorney review, which is like 3 days. I have an attorney, the seller has an attorney, their attorneys get together, the contract gets sent to them, they haggle over dates and verbiage in the contract, then they rewrite it, send it out to everybody to sign, and now we're done with attorney review. And the only way that I could lose the property is if I get denied for the mortgage, something comes up in structural, environmental, mechanical inspections, or for whatever reason, the seller backs out and doesn't want to do it, which they really legally can't. I could sue them. So that's the only way you could lose it once in New Jersey, once you're out of attorney review. Pennsylvania is completely different, and I'm learning this. There's no... You're legally represented. I guess you can hire an attorney, but they're like, you don't need it. Your title company will just take care of everything. And I'm like, it's just foreign to me. So I'm learning this all as I go, and I'm like, I'm putting my faith in a title company to act on my behalf. And I got to be honest, I haven't even talked to them once yet. I have to call them. We haven't even had communication on the telephone once. And by telephone, I mean like picking up a phone and calling, not an email or a text. I don't consider that like calling someone. It's communicating, but it's not the traditional form that I know. Because remember, I had a life before this thing. So, and I had a life before beepers. You guys don't even remember beepers, but we used to do beepers, and then you run to a payphone and stick 20 cents in and call because somebody paged you. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool times back then, but now it's all different. So that's what's going on in Pennsylvania. So it's a completely different ballgame than what I'm used to. So I'm out of my comfort zone tremendously here, but I'm putting trust and faith in these people that are acting on my behalf. And we'll see how they do, title company. If they're good and things go well, maybe I'll use them again. So that is where we're at. Next episode, we're going to talk about the whole lending process. So, hey, I appreciate y'all listening. Until next time, I will see you then. Peace out.